I am working on filling in all the large gaps in order to finish fitting my 71 Travelall to this 2003 Tallhoe in my quest to build the ultimate restomod SUV. Before we dig into that, there's a couple of things we've got to touch up here on the driver's side. Then we'll take a little bit of a diversion just for some entertainment. Then we're going to dive headfirst into the question. What am I going to do about this giant hole in my floor? I've been doing a lot of just little touch-up stuff that wasn't really going to make for great video. I finished welding in that rear panel that got built in the last video. As you can see, all that's welded in. It's welded in back through here as well. And then I've touched up the alignment of this panel and done a bunch of little tweaks to it to make it fit nicely. As well as, while they're still kind of bulbous and ugly, it's much more sealed down through there. So now I'll just be able to smear a coat of seam seal over it and be more comfortable with it all. I don't know when I'm going to attach that floor pan, but it's not going to be right now. Truth be told, I've been working on this wheel tub fabrication stuff for so long, trying to figure it out. I'm just tired of it. I'm really tired of it, so I don't want to work on it anymore. So I'm going to move on to something hopefully a bit more interesting for now. I want to make this interior panel fit. Obviously, there is a major repair to be done all the way across it, and I will get to that. But for now, I really just want to see what it's going to take to make it all fit where I want it. It's this front corner that's going to be the big trouble here. So, the Tallhoe seat, when folded up, fits pretty snugly around the wheel well here. I basically need to remove anything that will interfere with those two. Put this back where it was. Somewhere more or less right there. If we look down it, you can see the seat edge is here. So basically anything right here, all the way back to where the seat will fold up, which is somewhere along this natural existing seam here in the Travelall. My first step is going to be just cutting along that seam and then cutting up there. So once I get that corner removed, then we'll turn around and see what else it's going to take to fit this piece. So I did no trimming to the bottom at all. And you can kind of see where it comes to. It's close, but not all the way down, which means I'll probably have to run a little angle bracket down here to attach to the floor pan properly, but it may be that I can just push it backward and attach it right to the wheel tub as well. Let's get that all back in place. This is the chunk that was in this corner. You can see just by trying to put it back in how much it's held up. So with that gone, we can kind of see what's going on. So let's move some stuff real quick and see if we can possibly try putting the seat up. Okay, so I have just pushed this thing back quite a bit. I think I need to cut another inch out of the top at least. It is going to have a slope on it. You can see how much slope there is. I will start a taper here that comes backward. Here we are, a good 6 or so test fits and recuts later. So you can see we've got it more or less lined up. It's just fine there. And we have the seat back upright. Coming in under here, we may trim it back a little bit further up here. You can see it's pretty close contact. So we'll pull that back another 1/4 of an inch or so. And then it's also tight here. This metal can be moved, so we will have to probably create a little bit of gap in there. Then we come around to here. This piece is going to be anchored in here, more or less like that. And then all of this is just going to get a flat panel going in, and then a flat panel down the back as well. Oh, you know what? It's not looking like it's in the right place anymore. There we go. Now I know it's in the right place. Or it's possible I may just run an extra leg down to here. Just weld a piece on that runs all the way down to this lip and connect it there. And then of course I have to build all of this back in new because it was all rusted out anyway. That's what it's going to take to make that panel fit. You can see I've got a couple of pinholes I need to take care of in this floor here. Got that basically fitted until I'm ready to actually do the repairs on it and backfill that giant hole I cut in it. There's not really anything else to do there. So it's time to move on and really push through and finish out these wheel wells. We are onto the passenger side again. We finished most of the rust repairs down below, but there is still a bit of work I have to do to finish those up. The only thing left over here on the driver's side to put all these pieces together is I want to seam seal everything. I'm waiting on my seam seal to come. I just ordered that a couple of days ago. It hasn't arrived yet. We are back to the inner wheel well section. And the very first thing I'm going to have to do, if you guys remember, one of my previous attempts, I welded this 6-inch strip onto the top of part of the Dakota wheel well. That was not successful at all. So, I'm going to go ahead and cut this back off. The reason I'm going to cut it off is so that I can see down behind a little bit better, so that I can make sure I'm making a mark along the area I want to be cutting with the edge of the wheel well. Right, so like that garbage panel cut off, we are ready to mark this up and get it cut to the size we need. Well, it looks like I really warped that lip when I was cutting those two apart, so I'm going to have to spend some time tapping that back into shape to make sure everything fits in the right place before I start doing anything else. Alright, we've got that hammered into place where we need it, so I think we're ready to make our mark. Ow. So line's definitely not perfect. I'm going to touch it up a little bit and then basically just cut off this lip. So we've trimmed that piece down just on the other side. So when it fits in, we'll be fairly close to the body all the way around. Well, I think that's going to have to be enough cleaning, because I don't stand a chance of getting that chisel right now. Good enough for me. Alright, so we've got this clean enough to tack it all together. I actually just spent like, I don't know, an hour and a half cleaning the garage and just kind of sweeping around and under the Travelall because I still can't get it out. So it's quite a bit nicer here in the shop. Always more work to do, but we're going to move on to the always more work to do on this. This is the template that I made on the other side. But I don't know if it's viable over here. Nope, doesn't seem to work. I marked some edges all the way around, just going off the flat spot here on the wheel well. Kind of give me an idea of how high up I need to go. So that's the actual size I need. Really, I'm going to cut it more like here, an inch higher or so, all the way along. So that I've got a little sticking up that I can weld to. There is our piece. Ground back the edge here so that we can get it welded, at least tacked on. But now it occurs to me, I have not cleaned this edge, so I better get that done. Oh, that was helpful. Ground this all back, went back and inspected for some pinholes, and you can see, like there, along there, just a few extra welds where I filled in some pinholes I could see light through, just holding it up to the lights here above the workbench and looking for anywhere I could see light. So I'm just going to get those welded back, and this quick section at least will be finished. Alright, with all the various touch-ups finished on this piece, it's time to get it back in. So from here, there's a couple of directions we can go. Last time, I built this upper panel and attached it all into one piece. Then I built the lowers. I'm wondering if this time it might be easier to remove the tack welds holding this in place and then build those lowers and then come back and attach this piece to this whole piece last of all. Also, at some point, once I get the Travelall moved over a little farther here in the shop, there is a whole lot of work to be done down in this corner. You can see that's where my connection ends, and all of this here is still completely open on this side. I hadn't figured out how to build this yet when I finished this side and moved on to the driver's side. So I have to come back. There's a filler panel that goes against this piece here. And then there's the flat and the curve and the different steps and everything that we have on the other side. So at some point, I've got to get in there and build all of that as well. I'm not sure which step is really the best one to take right now. So maybe the best step to take is to see about moving the Travelall. So with this portion of the wheel arch fully welded and ground back, we might be as far as a third of the way through building this thing. If you want to see how the design came about and where this is going, go ahead and check out this video down here. Otherwise, I just want to thank you guys for watching. We'll catch you on the next one.